I'm Nico. This is the Divine Mind Podcast. Thank y'all for being here. Episode 30. Episode 30. Look at what God can do. I hope everybody giving themselves grace. There's a lot happening right now, and there is no perfect way to handle everything that's going on right now, especially since everybody is experiencing something different. Whether you in New York celebrating the Knicks or you are somewhere trying to prepare unless World War III happens. Y'all being kind to yourselves, giving love to yourselves. I think we need to put the news down and pick books up. Now, I'm not saying we don't need to be aware, but I think that we are overly consuming. I think we are overly consuming. My POV, I know personally that when I sit long enough and I doom scroll, or I'm just sitting ruminating on the same negative thing, the negative news, I have to be aware. As a black woman in this country, I have to be aware of what's going on. But I think the difference is you can be aware, but you have to also be, you gotta be, you have to be pulling in some type of negative. You have to be pouring yourself, you have to be filling yourself up with the good that you want. I think it's a lot of focus on the news. And again, I'm not saying you can't focus on the news, but I'm not saying you can't focus on the news, but what I am saying is that we need to take a better amount of our energy and put it into positivity. We need to lean and figure out how to switch frequencies. I think we tuned into not just the wrong frequency. Some of us are not tuned in at all. I think we need to be praying a lot more. I think I'm always go back to that because prayer is one of the only reasons that y'all see me. Journaling is one of the reasons that y'all see and hear my thoughts. Even me being able to express my thoughts. I get up and I try to figure out what information to give y'all, and I try to figure out in what way do I want to convey my message. In this episode, we need to all figure out how we gonna get back to God. You know why? Because it ain't never gonna be different. Never gonna see change. There's never gonna be growth. There's never gonna be change. I think the conversations we having with ourselves are not helping us. I know for sure the more kind you speak to yourself, the more kind you feel. The more kind you are to others, the better you feel. But I say we need to get into prayer more because let's be honest, who's doing are we talking to God? Are we talking? Are we talking to a therapist? Therapist is cool. Friends are cool, but you gotta be able to tap into source. You gotta be able to tap into source. Your friends might be in the same think tank and confused as you. Prayer is a form of meditation. What do you do when you meditate? What are you focused on? You're going internal. You're focusing on gratitude. You're focusing on the things that you want. You're focusing on the things that you want to come to life. I think people misunderstand and think that they have to pray a certain way, or they think that meditation and prayer are completely separate. They think people misunderstand meditation. People misunderstand yoga. And even still, those same people are not praying. To me, I don't feel. I think a lot of us need to get in alignment. The issue is everybody is looking for everything outside of themselves. You looking for external validation. You looking to be right. I think a lot of the issue is that we spend a lot of time asking God to do stuff that He gave us victory over, that He gave us God gave you everything you needed in the form of a seed. How do I know? Because how many times did God plant seeds of grass? How much grass covers? How many times did God, how many times do you think God stopped what he was doing and created a new body of water? God literally, I hope it's clicking. God gives you every single thing that you need in the form of a seed. Why is that? Why a seed? So it can bloom, so it can germinate. You need to be implanting the right seeds within your mind in order to understand what's going on in your mind. Yes, you can journal. Yes, you can visualize. You can do all of those things. But you know what you can't do? Nothing. If you don't have a relationship, a solid foundation, a firm foundation, your relationship with God gotta be airtight. Your relationship with God gotta be airtight. This does not benefit me, and I don't reap the benefit or the fruits of your labor. Your relationship with God is your responsibility. And do you know why it's important? Because how far do you expect to get if you can't tap in and be in commune? They used to say communion. Back when communion in church, back when communion was a thing and it wasn't these little caps with, it wasn't it, back when everybody wasn't taking communion because you had to be in a certain place, and spiritually, leaders and those in positions knew everybody can't partake in this as it pertains to Christianity or whatever, but whatever it is, believe it in. Everybody has their own vantage point. Everybody has their own POV. Everybody has their own relationship with God. This is why you shouldn't compare yourself. You have to be able to go internal. And it is not, you got to be able to go internal, but you got to be able to go to God in prayer. Who are you talking to? What is the internal dialogue? Where are you getting wisdom? Because it's kind of difficult to extrapolate wisdom in a situation that you can't get out of, or something that God really, Jesus, how do I say this? God, give me the words, give me the words, give me the words. Your prayer life, it got to be airtight. How do you think that we need to be praying more? I don't know where necessarily to commune. I think prayer is amazing, but there's something the Bible say where there are two or three gathered together, there I am in the midst. We not praying. We not in communion. We not even in community. We're not doing stuff right. How I know is because I'm seeing havoc being wreaked. We ain't doing stuff right because y'all celebrating football and basketball as if those are necessities. And it's funny. I'm not saying that you can't celebrate sports. Somebody told me that I was a hater and that I was just jealous because I feel, as I said, I feel a sense of disdain. Y'all's priorities and morals are fried, hotter than chicken grease. I believe personally, people need to pray more. People need to go to God in prayer so they can avoid idiocy and making stupid decisions. People need to go to God in prayer because how are you surviving? Are you going to your friends and asking them for advice, or are you talking to God, or are you not? I feel like I'm talking to bullet points, but I cannot overemphasize this enough. Your friends cannot save you. Your friends cannot resuscitate you. Your friends cannot bring you peace. You know how I know? Because your friends dealing with the same stuff as you. Your friends cannot validate you. Your friends cannot do for you. Your friends can't do it. Because a lot of us don't even have friends. And even still, your friends cannot save you. Your friends can't heal you. Your relationships necessarily. They can add healing elements. You can feel, I don't know, like, but in order to, I think, experience true peace, we're going to have to stop leaning into the understanding of others. We're going to have to really start coming into an understanding of who God is and what God is trying to do. I wish I could say it how I feel it in my spirit. And I'm tired of feeling like I can't say certain stuff, or like y'all not going to understand. God is trying to get our attention. What the hell are we focused on? What in hell are we focused on? We're not talking to God enough. We're not loving on ourselves enough. And the point in the program, this is a God-led program. God gave me this position. God put me here. God rose. God gave me life. God gave me my life again. So I am going to. That is really the premise. That's the plot. We need to be getting back to God. How I know is because if I didn't get back to a place of understanding, the understanding that I keep saying, the minds of them. What understanding do you stand under? What is it? What conversations do y'all have? We need to talk to God because a lot of us are just all over the place looking for everything external to bring you peace. Have you found it? Have you found it? No, because nobody is focused. Part of my thing, as far as everything that's going on in the world right now, people are not choosing to do things that are advantageous to society at large. Y'all come together when things are literally, y'all come together over stuff that really just does not matter. Y'all don't come together in terms of the literacy crisis, the homelessness crisis. I know people who I have helped, who I try to support out of my pocket, people who I've tried to help just because I know you, just because I know that I'm in position, like Cat Williams said, God will use a fool like me. Just because I know you, just because I know if it were me or somebody closer to me, I would do it. I feel like people are not focused dead center on the things that matter. Imagine you being in need of something that you won't help somebody else to get or have because you spending it on sports tickets. You spending it on people. You spending your money and your resources on things that do not matter and that will not stand the test of time. So a lot of podcasters kind of get on my nerves. A lot of y'all don't need podcasts or platforms. You should not be getting monetization. You should not be getting increases in followers. A lot of y'all are not talking to God, and a lot of y'all programs and platforms are fried. Ninth circle of hell fried. If you're going to have a platform or a podcast, tell me what you're talking about. Tell me what your goal is. What's the premise? What's the thesis? A lot of people are just doing things to garner attention. And it's like I said, it will not stand the test of time. And a lot of it is not, the majority of it is not God led or God influenced or inspired. So y'all just really out here doing anything, just existing, spewing stupidity. Because y'all not talking to God for real. It's something about being in a position of leadership. It's something about being in a position of leadership where you're supposed to know how to lead the people. How you supposed to know how to lead the people? Your divinity, you tapped in with you're tapped in. People who I think that is this just a huge misunderstanding. Don't think that you're going to be put in a position of leadership or that you're going to be elevated or granted some type of position in leadership. I don't care what type of leadership, but right now I'm talking about the word of God. I'm talking about spiritually. If you're gonna be in a position of leadership, lead. I bet that's a big word. Lead. Y'all not leading. And that's the issue. You don't know how to lead. That's why it ain't enough churches that safe spaces. That's why people are considered that people are just lost. People are just lost. And how like if you're in a position of leadership, you need to be cognizant and aware of the fact that people are following you. You are leading people. You are impacting lives. I think we need to get back to talking to God and we need to not stop. Cause why are we're not doing it. We're not putting enough energy into the right things. We're not putting our energy into the things I believe that God wants us to put our energy into. What the are we focused on? What is God trying to do? Why is all of this happening? God probably trying to get our attention. I don't think we doing enough. I don't think we talking to God enough. I know we not. Because we talking about the Knicks. We're talking We're talking about stuff that does not matter. Not when people don't have water. Not when there are different versions of AI and Chat GPT being generated every single day. People are homeless. People in other countries are dying because of the phone that you can't put down and you want an upgrade. Priorities fried. Fried. And I say fried because whether it's church, whether it's spiritual leadership, whether it's a podcast, whatever it is, T.I. said, if you gonna throw pies, but you need to know what you're doing and you need to be keenly aware. People are going to follow the leader. Some of y'all niggas can't lead. Some of you niggas can't lead. Some of you niggas don't need a microphone. You don't need a platform. You need a booster seat into being somebody's car because y'all act like children. Some of y'all don't need podcasts. Some of y'all don't need podcasts because you don't know how to lead. You not being led by God. So how can you possibly lead the children of God? How can you lead? Imagine Moses having tried. Who was that? Imagine Moses trying to part the Red Sea and turn his cane into a snake. Like, how was he able to do anything that he did? Who was he talking to? Where did he get the wisdom? Who was guiding him? Y'all not being guided. And I don't really give a damn about what y'all doing outside of the people of God. I don't care about that. Because I ain't got no heaven or hell to put you in. If you even believe in that. But my thing, I'm watching too much happen. And I'm watching people lead people astray. I don't understand what's going on. But I think people really need to really get it together. People need to get back to a place of, I venture to say, humility. People think they bigger than God or bigger than God's program. You smoking heavy dope. People think that they bigger than God or bigger than God's program. That's why you in the situation you in right now. You think that you can play God, and that's bananas. Because how? You can't even tell me what you had for dinner 2 weeks ago. People do not need to, you don't need to rush or fleece God either. Because that's where it get real sticky at. Don't force God to move to the beat of your drum and get in alignment with his plan so you can know how to operate. We ain't in alignment. We ain't praying. We ain't focused. We too busy scrolling on Instagram. I bet you if you check your screen time right now, it would be more hours spent than you do reading the word. More hours spent than you do than you do reading books. Y'all not feeding y'all minds anything. You're not feeding yourselves. You're not being edified. Am I saying that right? Am I saying that right? We need to be feeding ourselves better. We need to be going to God in prayer. This is why you need your own prayer life. This is why you can't. This is why the parents used to say, you got to know how to get to God by yourself. You got to have your own relationship with God. Why is that? Because I can't get you out of a gym. I can't pray you out of a situation that you put yourself in. You got to know how to pray. You got to know how to lay your burdens down. You got to learn. We got to learn how to do that. And that's the thing. It's not that we have to learn. We need to start using our spiritual tools. God don't be wanting for us to do nothing other than just sit with him for real. But what do we be doing? We need a shift. We need a spiritual shift, an awakening. Like we need to shift gears. I think that we're coming to a point in a place in a position where God gonna only let you be a fool for so long. He only gonna let this and that. He only gonna let certain stuff happen for so long before he strikes. And God will strike. God, from what I read and from what I understand about the Bible, is that God had wrath. God got angry. Moses and God got into it, where God told Moses, these your people. This is what I told you to do. This your assignment. And Moses said, my nigga, these not my people. These your people. These ain't got nothing to do with me. They not listening to me. They not listening and heeding to the word. They not even following directions. God had wrath. God had wrath. God was the type of God tested people in the Bible. It's like Abraham. When he told Abraham, because Abraham had a son with Bathsheba, who was he had a baby with Bathsheba because he could not conceive with his wife. And then he ended up conceiving, so he had 2 kids. Long story short, God wanted him to sacrifice what he gave him. God wanted him to sacrifice what he gave Abraham. He wanted him to sacrifice it because he wanted to see, can I trust you? Can I trust you enough for me to give you something? Are you going to come to me in prayer? Do I trust you enough? How much are you going to pay attention? So he had the son, but I think his original, who he was with, said, well, she and that baby got to go, Bathsheba. And that was the son that he ended up having to sacrifice. But as soon as he got up on the mountain, he didn't even tell his son where he was going. He said, come, I'm going to take you to a place afar off. When by the time Moses made it up the mountain and he was about to kill his son, and God said, Moses, stay your hand. What do you think happened? God had a ram in the thicket. God had a plan. But God also knew that he needed to know that Moses was trustworthy. He needed to know that Abraham was trustworthy. He needed to know that Jonah was trustworthy. Joshua, David, Paul, Saul, James. He needed to. How do you think these people are these? How else do we expect to function? Like, all of the people that I reference and think about when I think in biblical times, anybody that wasn't in alignment with God and that didn't put God as a priority, or didn't really, everybody who didn't, everybody who, hmm, everybody that did not heed God's plan, or that really tried to do stuff without, big flop. It never works. And the reason why is because it is not intended and designed for me to play God in a universe that I cannot quantify or really understand. We are not meant to be, we are not meant to control every outcome, every circumstance. Because if we had control, and we had control over every circumstance and every outcome, where would we be? And would we even be talking to God? We just need to get that together. We need to get in tune. We need to figure out what it is, direction. Like, what life do you want to live? What life do you want to live? How do you spend your time? Like, God gives us so much and we waste it. We drag. We delay, and we act as if God is just gonna keep giving it to us. You think God just gonna keep giving it out. Do you know how frustrating it must be for God to give us things and we squander them? He give us an open line of communication, and we communicate with people that we shouldn't even be entertaining. We communicate to everybody who we hmm. You communicating with everybody but your creator. You going to everybody for advice, trying to save yourself, or you trying to save yourself on your own. I think I think the only way for us to change individually, which can raise everybody's frequency as individuals, we need to change. And if you can't change the world, you can change within yourself. And I think in order to see change and to be better people, we gonna have to learn how to go to God in prayer, The difference between meditation and prayer is nothing. They are the same. They are the same. They are the same. Because when you pray, what you doing? What you doing when you pray for real? Who you be praying to? What do you do when you pray? What do you do when you meditate? It should be. It should be on what you want. It should be you in a space of gratitude. You asking God for direction, of course, but like when you pray, you have to, I think, and prayer is just a conversation with God for real. It ain't too much more to it. Because I can't tell you how to pray. I can't tell you how to talk to God, but I can tell you that He gives us ample opportunity and accessibility. We not reaching back. We not reaching back. And that's kind of wild. Because what is we reaching for? Like, everybody's just discombobulated. And you ain't never going to be able to experience true peace if you don't go to God in prayer and not just marinate on the peace, but really going and seeking to understand and getting a level of healing. You can't get it from me. You can't get it from sitting watching a podcast. You can't get it from talking to the bros and the homies, man. People be just as lost as other people, and y'all be trying to make gods out of people and make people your therapists. I cannot save your soul. I can barely give you direction. I can't I can't heal your traumas. I can't fix your relationship with your baby daddy. I can't fix your relationship with your mama. Sex is not gonna help. A lot of y'all having sex with a lot of people at the same time, and I'm not talking about more than one person in the bedroom. A lot of y'all putting anything in your body. And the thing is, if you had a better relationship with God, you would know what to avoid. You would know what God wants you to avoid. You would know what to stay away from. If we had a relationship with God and prayed more, we wouldn't do certain stuff. We wouldn't be in such precarious situations. Because how can you be, we need to get in alignment. Prayer, meditation, synonymous. And when people get in yoga and things come into play, I chuckle and I laugh inside because people don't understand the laws of the universe. People don't understand the laws of gravity and thermodynamics. But guess what? Those principles still apply. They're still universal law. So whether you believe it and whether you heed my words and actually, whether you listen to me or not, you still gonna have to figure that part out. And if you choose not to figure that part out, then you're choosing to be in a state of confusion. Cause you can't if you ain't talking to God, you're talking to somebody. And I want better for us. I want better for us. But we all gotta want better for ourselves. Cause I can't do it all. But you know who can? God. So that would be, I think, my thing for this week. For today, for right now. Go to somebody higher up. Now I ain't talking about HR. Go to somebody higher up. Go within yourself. Go within yourself so you know. So you can connect every other dot. Like, talk to God and go within and seek to understand what He's saying. Yeah. So with that, this concludes episode 30.